Wild Target. Strange glasses, I know. Let's cut the story short and get into this review. Now, Wild Target is probably one of the probably only British film I've fully seen this year, unless I cannot really remember any of the other ones. Anyway, let's get straight into the plot. Now, the plot is simple. Basically, Bill Nighy plays this assassin who is hired to kill one of his, so to speak, targets, which is played by Emily Blunt. Long story short, then through a series of events, he ends up protecting her, and the rest of the film is preventing her from getting killed by an unsatisfied client, played by Rupert Everett, and his sort of assistant of sorts, Martin Freeman. Along the way, he meets Tony, played by Rupert Grint, and then they go on this action-adventure comedy, and we'll tell you what I thought about this movie right now. Okay, so the plot is straightforward and simple. So let's get into the pros and cons of the film. Pros. As I said, the plot is absolutely straight and simple. It doesn't go off track, and it certainly doesn't give you multiple confusing story threads like Brooklyn's Finest did, and it didn't deviate from what it was supposed to do. It stayed true to its main focus and mission, and I can only praise the film for doing that. Another thing that I absolutely loved about Wild Target, the action and comedy surprisingly blended well together here, and the levels of which they did was pretty stellar. I loved how a message to 500 Days of Summer, this is how you do a romantic comedy. While there are hints of romance in here, the comedy is really what drives the film forward, and the character development as well as a result of that is breathtakingly executed. Another thing that I absolutely adored about Wild Target is the pacing. Now I must admit, for most of the film, the pacing is top-notch, perfect. It didn't make me bored or want to fall asleep, and it didn't feel too rushed either. And maybe with the exception of the ending, but most of this movie I just think was absolutely flawless in terms of its pacing and character development and comedy timing. Another thing that I love, the cinematography and the direction of this movie are surprisingly impressive here. Usually British films tend to not have the best of budgets, and they end up looking crap or a piece of shit pretty much. And I was very surprised to see that Wild Target was actually going to actually entertain me as much as it did. The camera shots and cinematography and special effects are very well done as well. The violence as well is toned just about the right level for this movie of PG-13, or well, if it's in America, but here it's 12A of course. So I can really only say that the level of violence, all this stuff is blended together for the right moments, and they come in at the right times. The timing is very convenient, and it doesn't piss the viewer off. And really, so you would figure now this is obviously getting a very positive review, and I really think that this movie is easily one of the best films I've seen this year. However, it's far from perfect, because now, I forgot to mention, the acting also is top-notch here. I've never seen Bill Nighy in such a comfortable role in what he's doing, and I really see that at the start of the movie you always get to know him, and then as the movie progresses, his character, I'm totally at ease here, let's have some fun with my role. Same goes for Emily Blunt and Rupert Grint, even though Emily Blunt did kind of get annoying after a while. But hey ho, right? Can't please everybody. So the acting also, Martin Freeman and Rupert Everett, brilliant as usual. With the exception of Rupert Everett and Shrek the Third, you were a pussy in that movie. Now let's get into the cons of the film. Now, there's not too much that pisses me off here, but of course these are what make the film far from perfect. First of all, I really would have liked it if Emily Blunt's character did a little bit more than scream all the time. As I said in the pros section, she really did get annoying after a while. Another thing, sometimes the movie felt a bit too strange for my taste. Like one time, for example, it could have a really good comedy scene, and then a drama moment comes in, or a romantic moment kicks in. For example, there's a romance between Bill Nighy and Emily Blunt towards the end of the film, and a bit too strange. A bit of an age difference, but nothing too major. As I said before, the pacing was more or less perfect, but the ending itself I thought just ended too abruptly. I would have liked to have had it stretch out a bit more, have a little bit more of action, just about an extra fight sequence or something, which would have been impressive. But overall though, Wild Target is definitely not a waste of money. In fact, I love this movie. I'd say I'm easily giving it 4.5 stars. This is trying to do the half symbol. I cannot do it. What the hell? So, overall, I'd say I absolutely love Wild Target. It's one of the best films I've seen this year so far, and it could possibly be one of my top of the British films ever. Although my favourite British film so far is Shaun of the Dead. That rules. Which coincidentally also stars Bill Nighy. Strange. Anyway, 4.5 stars for Wild Target. So, unless you don't get shot at by Bill Nighy or any of the killers sent hired to kill you, I shall sign out.